Hi, this is Ross Bellany from TruTrainer. Today I'm going to demonstrate how to use the SmartLoad application on an iPhone. The first thing you need to do is select the icon from the page. That will bring up the home page showing the DFU application, which is used to upload device firmware over the air to our TruTrainer device. The other icon is the SmartLoad. You can press the I icon in the corner to get an idea about what this application does. When you read the about, you can then either accept or go on to the TruTrainer site to learn more. I'm going to select OK. The first thing I do is press the SmartLoad icon, and that brings me to the home page of the SmartLoad program with the instructions to connect to enable the device. And actually we're going to be pairing with a Bluetooth device when we connect, but first I'll press the information button at the top, and again this provides a summary of what's the capabilities of the program. I'll be going through each one of these individually. I'll accept OK. A word though, that if you're going to use the TruTrainer device and pair it with a third-party Ant Plus application, you do not need to go into the Bluetooth connection. In fact, once you're in a Bluetooth connection, you will not be able to use the Ant capability. So the first thing we need to do is press the connect button. So I'll do that. Now it's scanning for TruTrainer devices, and it's brought up a TruTrainer. So I'll select the TruTrainer. And now it's going through the process of connecting to the TruTrainer device. To show whether or not you're truly connected, you can press the show log button, and this is a screen that's just showing the communication that's now happening between your smartphone and our TruTrainer device. It's a swipe screen, so you can take and pull that back over, or grab the screen and pull it back over as well, or hit the show log. Okay, so now there are 4 different options. The settings option is to adjust the settings that are used to determine wind and grade load that should be applied to the TruTrainer when in the wind and grade mode. You can adjust these as you see fit, change the rider weight from pounds, or actually go back and click in the box, and then you can adjust the weight accordingly. Touch anywhere in the screen and that sets that. When you adjust the screen, it brings up the save button in the top right hand corner. Pressing the save button sends that information to the TruTrainer device and saves it onto the iPhone. So I'll go back into the settings button, and you can see that the 88.5 and commuter bike and smooth concrete has been selected. As well as at the top you see a full charge. The TruTrainer device has a permanent magnet alternator that generates the power, so you don't have to plug a cord into it. It uses capacitors to store a charge. When those capacitors are fully charged, you'll get an indication that they're fully charged. While they're charging, that will show up as yellow. Anyways, I'm gonna go back and set the defaults, and then I'll save that. And then I'll demonstrate going back in, and it is truly back at the default. There's one button on this page called Enable DFU. I'll press it right now, but it basically gives you a warning notice that if you continue with this operation, you're going to put the TruTrainer into bootloader mode. And as a rider, you would not be able to get it out of bootloader mode until the device drained the capacitors and you charged it back up again, and it would reboot into the normal application program. But if you were to want to update the device firmware, you would press OK. I'm going to press cancel. I'll go back through this later at the end of this when we demonstrate how to do a device firmware update. So I'm going to cancel that. So I've just now demonstrated the capabilities of the setting button. As I said, that is used to provide information to the wind and grade mode about the type of bike you're riding and how much you weigh, and that calculates what kind of load should be delivered by the TruTrainers. Next, I'll go into manual mode. Manual mode allows you to set the percentage of load that the device is capable of delivering, anywhere from 0 to 100%. There's a slider at the bottom that you can move, and notice when I move the slider, the total watts delivered goes up and down accordingly. I'm going to move the slider to the full position, which is delivering now a total of 511 watts to the device. There's a no load button that you can press that brings the load back to 0, which is the default position. There's a couple of power indicators and temperature indicators that come on to play here. They're not interactive, but they will tell you if you've hit a power level at a given speed or you've exceeded a temperature limit. They're sort of safety devices that we've put in there. So I'll move the slider about halfway. I can also press an incremental button, the plus, and that takes load up at 0.5%, or I can decrement it down and press it to adjust the load just to where I want it. And as you notice, if you move anything, the watts actually delivered will change based on your load, right? Another pretty important feature of this is that we do offer a calibrate button that allows us to specifically calibrate the TruTrainer rollers parasitic loads. So when I touch the calibrate button, it brings me to a different screen. At this point, it's essentially hands-off for the rider. He just has to follow the instructions, which is to warm up the rollers by riding for a certain amount of time, between 15 and 20 miles an hour, increase his speed greater than 23 miles an hour, and then coast. And upon reaching the coast down, the applications will do some calculations to determine what the parasitic load of the TruTrainers are, and then post that information down below. I'm not going to do that. I'm using this as strictly a demonstration. I can cancel out of this application, and that's what I'll do by pressing the cancel at the top. I'm going to go back in. When the calibration is complete, in the top right hand corner is a done button, and that just allows one to move off of this screen. So unless the rider performs a calibration, he will stay on the screen forever until he either cancels or the calibration completes. So I'm going to cancel this again. And that really completes the demonstration of manual load. You will have noticed, though, that to perform a calibration, it has to be done with the servo controller of the TruTrainer at no load conditions. So we automatically drop that to the no load position when we go into calibration, as evidenced by it's at the 0 load position when we come out of the calibration mode. So to get out of manual mode, you go up to the top and press the cancel, brings you back to the home screen. I'm going to go in and talk about target power now. Target power is the next one down. Like manual mode, it allows the rider to adjust the target power he wants to be controlled to with a slider or an increment. He can increment that up. Every press of the button increments it up or increments it down. And this time, what we're doing is the application will control to a targeted power independent of bike speed or rider cadence, so to speak. Once again, there's a min power button. If you press it, we've set the min power that we want to control to the targeted watts. You'll see that the actual watts now is 175. That's because the speed I'm riding the simulation of the bike at is greater than 50 target watts, and that's just the parasitic load that's present. So you have to go to about 176 watts or there before we'll actually pick up control. Okay, so min power again. Once again, from this screen, you could go to the calibration screen and perform a calibration. Again, it dumps it to the minimum load. I'm going to cancel out of this screen. So that's the target power mode explained. So I'll press the cancel button. The last functionality I'd like to discuss with the SmartLoad app is wind and grade. And here, the rider is able to adjust the wind or the road grade that he would be riding in and provide that load. There's a toggle up here. He can do wind in miles per hour or kilometers per hour and then adjust the wind speed. So I've just set the wind speed for 15 miles an hour headwind, and if you notice, the watts at the bottom that are being delivered by the TruTrainer have gone up to 536. So at the rider's current bike speed, for a 0 headwind or a 0 grade, 288 watts would be applied to the TruTrainer device. I'll move the grade up to 4%. 597 watts would be applied. And now if I take the wind up to 15 and do that together, you'll see that we limit power to about 600 watts, and then the yellow icon at the top came on to tell the rider that you can ask for more wind speed, but you're going to be limited, your power limited now. It's sort of a safety feature. At that kind of power levels, the internal conditions of the device would get a little too hot. We actually measure temperature of the internal device as well. During this simulation, I'm just using a frequency generator to generate the bike speed, so the temperature is reading okay. I can come down and zero both wind and speed, and they go back, and power is not limited anymore, so that went green. Likewise, there's a calibrate button on this page. Takes you to the same calibration page, allows you to do calibration. I'll cancel out of that now. So that's a quick explanation of the features of the SmartLoad device. I'll go cancel and come back to the home page. We're still connected. The button at the bottom says disconnect. We could disconnect the device now, but right now what I want to do is take you through an explanation of the device firmware update. To do that, I need to come to this settings page and enable the DFU. This time I'm going to say OK, because I'm going to put the device into bootloader mode, so I press OK. When the device goes into bootloader mode, it automatically disconnects us from the Bluetooth connection. So we go back to the home page. Now I'll press the DFU page. And we've used Nordic Semiconductor's public available DFU update as the basis of this. The first thing you need to do again is select the device. So now I'm scanning. This time the TT stands for TruTrainer. TruTrainer DFU is highlighted, as well as some other Bluetooth devices that are in the shop that are running. I'm going to select that TT. When it's selected, it tells you you're connected up at top by the TT DFU. The next thing we need to do is select a file to upload. These are a number of hex files or zip packages that are on my phone. I'm going to touch the user files back there. We have adjusted the how-to button that came with the Nordic application for the DFU update, and it tells you how to put the zip files. What is a zip file? So I'll go there first. It's just a description of the zip file and where they can be obtained. We'll get them from our site. The other one is using iTunes. It goes just through a description with some graphics of how to make the zip file available to the iPhone once it's downloaded, and this one has to be done with using iTunes. Or back, you can use email that distribution to yourself and use the email application to copy and make it available to the SmartLoad application. I won't go demonstrating that, but what I will do is now go into my inbox where I have a TruTrainer SmartLoad zip package defined. I'll select that, hit done, and then that loads the zip to be uploaded to the device. I've got the device selected. I've got the firmware identified. I need to press the upload button. Now it's connecting with our device, and the status bar at the bottom indicates progress. This will take maybe up to about a minute based on our Bluetooth communications to happen. I'll just let it run out. I will say that this is a standard application from Nordic Semiconductor that we went out to GitHub and borrowed and customized it just a tad to make it make sense for our TruTrainer. So we're halfway done with the update, and it seems to be progressing just fine. When it completes, it will issue a message and give you the status of the completion. So we'll just wait a little bit for that to finish. And there, it's just completed. It's flashed me a message that the DFU is completed successfully, and the TruTrainer microprocessor will reboot and be available to run the program again. It's okay. I'll hit the information at the top. This is just a little explanation again about what the DFU is used for and where more information can be obtained if you were so inclined to do a device firmware update. By hitting the back button, you go to the home page again. If I were to now press the TruTrainer, I could connect to TruTrainer, and voila, there's our device. I'm not going to connect now. I'm just going to complete the demonstration. We intend to have more information available on our website on how the application works, but that's a quick demonstration of how our application works.